Alright, Chapter 16, Dimension Multileader Styles. We will learn to create the dimension style, the dimension advanced commands, create the multileader style, and insert the multileader in a drawing. What is dimension in AutoCAD? A dimension in AutoCAD is just like text and table. The U shift to create the dimension style with the first step of the U with the insert of the dimension style will control overall outcome of the dimension block generated with a different type of the dimension command with the insert of the dimension depending on the type of the dimension user should specify the points and select the object. Then a dimension block will be added to the drawing. For example, in order to add a linear dimension, the user will select the 2 points representing the distance to be measured. For the third point will be the location of the dimension block. Check for the illustration below. Dimension block location, first point, second point. Generated block consists of 3 portions, which are the dimension line, extension line, and the dimension text. See the following: dimension line, extension line. How to create a new dimension style with the screen will create the new dimension style, modifying existing one. To issue the command, go to the Anonote tab, locate the dimension panel, then select the dimension style button. Or dim style. You'll see the following dialog box: change current dimension standard, A, note of standard, preview, second new, current, modify, override, compare. List all styles, do not list any X references. As you can see with the file with the 2 redefined dimension style standard and annotated, click the new button, create the new style. You see the following dialog box. Create a new dimension, new style, name, standard, width, start with the standard, annotated, but use all other dimensions, continue, input with the name of the new style, with the made with the upper, start with the select with the existing style, which will be your starting point, leave the annotated checkbox off. As you will see with the discussion in Chapter 19, make sure the user and all the dimensions will cover it at the end of our discussion. Start creating a new style, click the continue button, dimension, style, and line tabs. As a rule of thumb, we will make the discussion different tab of the dimension style command, and we'll leave the color, line type, of line weight over the default settings because we want these things to be controlled by layers rather than individual dimension blocks. First tab of the dimension style dialog box, the lines. It will also allow you to control the dimension lines, extension lines. Use the dimension lines, change any of the following settings. Control extend beyond trick, which is illustrated below. The option works with the arrowhead and with the arrow take it oblique. As we see with the chapter, will be with the baseline dimension will be done. Control the space between one dimension and another. Control the baseline spacing as illustrated below. From now on, say that if we save the first of the meaning with the nearest to the first point, with the appends to the second meaning with the nearest to the second point, and point pick. Choose which, whether suppress dimension line 1 or dimension line 2. Leave them as a check with the picture below. Under extension lines, change any of the following settings. Choose whether to suppress extension line 1, extension line 2, with leave them as is, and check with the picture below. Input extended beyond dimension line, offset from the origin. See the picture below. Offset for the origin of the extend beyond the dimension lines. Choose whether to fix the length of the extension line or not. If yes, what will be the length? And see the following example. Fixed length off, fixed length on. Dimension style symbol of the arrow tab. Tabs will control arrowhead related feature below with the picture of the symbol over the arrow tabs. Show the symbol of arrow tab second, and the leader of the arrow size, the center marks for non-mask line, break size, and arc length symbol of the preceding dimension text above the dimension text none with the radius jog dimension, jog angle, under linear jog dimension, log height factor, text height. Under the arrowhead, change all of any of the following. The shape of the first arrowhead, you see with the shape of the first, automatically second arrowhead will change with it. If you want to leave the different change of the second, the shape of the arrowhead to the leader with the radius diameter or not. Leaders the side of the arrowhead with the center of the marks. You with the web with the show with the height, the center mark of the arcs. Circles is shown below with the side of the size of the center mark. Under the dimension break, with the input of the break side of the defined as the distance of the void between the 2 broken lines of the dimension of the dimension. Check with the picture below. Under arc length symbol, achieve the web that to show that is shown with the picture below, and the height of the arc length symbol, and the radius dimension jog, and the input jog angle shown below the picture, and on linear jog dimension, input jog height factor shown within the picture. Job height factor is defined as a factor multiply the height of the text used in the dimension. Job height factor of 2, dimension style text tab. The tab will control the text appearing with the dimension block with the below is to the picture of the text tab. Show the text style, fill, color, text height with the fraction, height, the scale with the draw, with the order, frame around text placement, vertical, horizontal, vertical direction, offset from the dimension line, text alignment, horizontal line with the dimension line with the ISO standard. Under text appearance, change any of the following. So with the desired text style, create a new one. Text color with the fill color with the next text background color. If your text style has a height of 0, the input with the text height, but depending on the primary, you would discuss in the moment the fraction height scale. Select whether you text will frame with or without the frame. Check with the picture below. Use the text placement chain with any of the following. Choose the vertical placement with the text relay with the dimension line with there are 5 available choices. The center above the outside Japanese industrial standard. Below, receive the pictures below. Centered above, outside Japanese industrial standard, and below. The horizontal placement edge of the 5 choice of the pick from. See the pictures below. Choose the view direction, the dimension left to the right, right to left. Check with the following illustration. Offset of the end from the dimension line is shown below. Under text alignment, control of the alignment of the text relay, the dimension line with the horizontal, always regardless of the alignment of the dimension line with the line with the dimension line. The ISO will influence only radius, the dimension, diameter, radius, and diameter dimensions. All of these dimension types will be aligned except for those two. Dimension style fit tab of the tab will control the relation between the dimension block components. Below is the picture of the fit tab, and then under fit option, change all of any of the following. There's no room for the text, the arrowheads inside of the extension lines, whether you want to do with the Autocad select with the proper operation. If there's no room for arrowheads to inside of the extension line, do you want Autocad to suppress them or not? Use the text placement, the text will be sent outside of the extension line, select with one of the following illustrated cases. Under scale for the dimension feature, the U the control side of the text feature, the length side of the etc. will be scaled automatically if there was no additive. It will file with the viewport scale. If it was import in the layout, if you wanted to input with the model space, you can set the scaling factor and fine tuning of the cycle with whether you want to play with the text manually rather than leave it in the Autocad. Also select the force text. I actually always include extension inside the extension line. For dimension styles, primary unit tabs. In this tab, the user will be allowed to control everything related to the number, which will appear with the dimension below. Below is the picture of primary units tab. Under linear dimensions, change any and all of the following settings. You select the desired unit format, then select the precision. If you select the architectural fractional, then choose the desired fraction format. You can have the 3 choices to pick from the horizontal, diagonal, or stacked. If your selection of the decimal, then choose the decimal separator. If you have the 3 points, period, comma, and space, if an input with a round-off number, input prefix or end suffix like below. Unit measurement scale. Change all and any with the following. By default, AutoCAD will measure the distance between the 2 points specified that you want by you if it was linear. Input with the text and format set by you. But what if you want to show the different value of the measured value at this moment? Input the scale factor. Choose whether the scale will affect only the dimension input in the layout. Or zero suppression. Choose whether to suppress the leading and or other trailing zeros as shown below. If you have meters as a unit measured value was less than 1, which of the centimeters which call for the sub-unit factor suffix for the example is cm. Under angular dimension, choose the unit format precision control, zero suppression for angles as well. 6.8 Dimension style and alternate unit tabs. The tab will show the 2 numbers in the same dimension block, one showing primary units, the other showing alternate units below the alternate unit tabs. The display alternate units option chain with the following chain with the alternate unit format, precision, multileader, multiplier for all units, value, the input with the round distance, and prefix, and the suffix input, zero suppression method. Choose the method of displaying alternate units of the after primary value or below primary value, check above. Dimension style tolerance tab. The tab will control whether or not to shift tolerance what is used method. Below there's a picture of the tolerance tab. Method precision upper lower value scaling for height and vertical position to a tolerance dimension. Line decimal separation line operational, zero suppression. Alternate unit tolerance, zero suppression. There are 4 types of methods shown with the tolerance: symmetrical, deviation limited, and basic. Following illustrations for each of these show the deviation, symmetrical, basic, and units. And use the tolerance format, change any of the following. Select with the proper method to select with the precision depending on the method, the upper value, lower value. Input scaling for height with the tolerance values. If desired, choose with the bottom, middle, top, vertical position, dimension, text, reference, tolerance values. Check on the following illustrations. If either deviation method or limited method is selected, you have the aligned decimal separators, line operational symbols as shown below. Under alternate unit tolerance, alternate units options turned on. The specify the precision with the numbers. Consequently, achieve the 0% suppression for primary unit tolerance and alternate unit tolerance is creating in a dimension and a substyle. By default, the dimension style is created with the effect with the type of the dimension. If you want the dimension style with the effect with only a certain type of the dimension, not others, you have to create a substyle. Do the following steps. Select existing dimension styles. Use the new button to create the new style. You'll see the following dialog box. Creating the new dimension style. New style. Copy with the mechanical. Start with mechanical annotated. Use all dimensions. Continue. Cancel. Do not input anything you use for. Select. Do not use any. Put anything. Go to use for. And select the type of the dimension. In the following figure, you will see an angular diameter. Dialog box will change. Click the continue button, make the changes you want to see. These changes will affect the diameter dimension only. The picture of the dimension style dialog will allow you to differentiate between the style and the substyle and what features. 16.1 Creating dimension styles. Alright, 16.11 More dimension functions. In this part, we will discuss more dimension functions which will help you produce the better look of the file and drawing. These functions are dimension break, dimension adjust space, dimension jog line, dimension center mark, dimension oblique, dimension text angle, dimension justify, dimension override. Alright, dimension override. With two or more dimension blocks, insert one or more points of the command will break one of the blocks. Insert points of the issue of the command goes to the animate tab, locate the dimension panel, select the break button. You'll see the following prompt. Select the dimension, add to remove the break and multiply. Select the object, break the dimension, auto manual, remove the auto. That's the dimension break. For DIM break. The following first prompt will ask you to select the dimension block, which will be broken. The second prompt will ask you to select the dimension block, which is to say is. Prompts will remove the break. If it exists, simple the break. Click with the second prompt. If the select with the remove option, the two option prompts will be repeated until you press enter into the command. Final result will look like the following. Dimension adjust space. The command will adjust either space between the dimension blocks to be aligned. They're having equal space between the issue for the command. Go to the animate tab, locate dimension panel, adjust space button. You'll see the following: base dimension, select the dimension to the space with the dimension to space, and enter value auto. First step is to select the base dimension block, while the other blocks will follow. We'll select all the other dimension blocks. Then when done, press enter for the Autocad. Will ask the value of their three options. Value 0 means all the other blocks will be aligned with the base of the dimension block. With value greater than 0, this may be the distance separated with the base of the dimension block with the nearest block with the others as well. Value equal to auto, which means Autocad will try to figure out the best arrangement for the selected blocks. Let's check the following example. Which of the following solving situations? At first up, we start with adjusted space with the select with the dimension of the block at leading left reading 5.7 on the base dimension block, then selecting base adjustment 6775 and 4667 the value at 0. We start a command line again, select the dimension block at 5.7 as an on-base dimension block, select the other three-dimensional blocks, reading 12.4, 12.1, 12, and 4.5, setting the value at 1 to 0. 1.0. Dimension jog line. This command will add and remove the jog line extra existing linear line dimension. The issue for the command, the annotate tab to locate the dimension panel, then select jog line button. You'll see the following prompt. Select the dimension, add jog line, remove the jog location, and press enter for the first prompt. Asks you to select the desired linear angle dimension block. Either select the position of the jog because you enter but you can press enter to let Autocad to locate it automatically. You'll see something like the following. Dimension oblique. This command will change the angle of the extension line angle you want. With this issue command with the annotate tab, locate the dimension, then select the oblique button. You'll see the following: select the object, enter for the oblique angle with the press enter on or for none. So for the desired dimension block with the press enter. Finally, input for the oblique angle switch can be positive to negative. Check the following examples. Dimension text angle. The command will change the angle of the dimension of the text of the angle that you want. With the issue for the command, annotate tab, locate the dimension panel, then select the text angle button. Dimension text dimension T edit. You'll see the following prompts: specify the dimension, specify the angle of the dimension text, select the desired dimension blocks, input a text angle which can be positive or negative. Check the following example. Dimension justify. This command changes the horizontal position dimension text the issue for the command with the annotate with the locate the dimension panel, then click one of the following buttons. Each one of the function will move the dimension to each of the either to the left, the center, or to the right. Check with the following example to move it to the left. Dimension override of the command override a dimension system variable to either should memory of the system variable to simply remove the override to issue the command. Go to the annotate lab, locate dimension panel, select the override button. Dimension DM override. To see the following prompts, enter dimension variable names of the override and clear override. The command is very useful when you want to remove the clear overriding steps. You can make the dimensional block, even the right click menu, answer the above the prompt, either to type of the name out of the dimension system variable or type C to clear the override. Check the following illustration. Dimension block with 2 overrides after clearing the override. Practice 16.2 more dimension functions. Alright, 16.12 associated with center marks. Center lines and center marks. Search center marks and circles and arcs and polygon arcs and center lines. For lines and polylines are powerful tools offered to Autocad for creating editing center marks and center lines. Associative means in generative geometric changing. Both center line and center marks will be react accordingly. Center mark to add new center mark. Do the following steps. Annotate the tab of center lines, parallel center mark button. So annotate the tab of center lines panel. Center mark button. You'll see the following prompts: select circle or arc to add center mark. Click the desired arc and circle panel polygon arc or center mark will be added. You'll get something the following. You can add. You continue adding any. You can continue adding for other circles and arcs. Center line. To add a new center line, do the following steps. The animate tab of center lines panel. Select center line button. Alright, you'll see the following prompts. First, select the first line, second line, select the first line polyline, then select the second line polyline. The command will end. You'll see something like the following. And then, center line, center mark properties. You can control everything related to the center mark of the center mark using quick properties. All properties are self-explanatory. Also, you can use the grips to modify the center line and center mark like shown below. Practice center lines and center marks. How to create multi-leader styles. Multi-leader is a replacement of the normal leaders that use the existing AutoCAD leaders use the file with the current dimension style, but they are always single. Multi-leader has its own style, but a single leader can point to the different location in the drawing. Multi-leader style will sever the characters of multi-leader block to start. This command go to annotate tab, locate leaders panel, then select the multi-leader style button. You'll see the following dialog box. You'll see current multi-layer style manager, current multi-layer style, and standard list all styles, preview standard set current new modify old close. As you see, there are 2 predefined styles with one standard default and the other called annotative. Click with the new button to create the new multi-layer style. As you can see in the following dialog box. New style name, standard, annotative to create, continue help, and input with the new style. Click the continue button. There are 3 tabs. Each one will control the multi-layer block. Leader format, leader structure, content. Leader format tab below is the picture of the leader format tab. General type, color, line, light type, the arrowhead size, leader break, some size. Changing any and all of the following. Edit the type of the leader, choosing one of the 3 sort of the straight line spline, or no the following example of both straight and spline options. Precast and concrete topping. Edit the color, line type, line weight. Select the arrowhead shape and size. Set the distance dimension break with any of the 2 blocks below that intersect leader structure tab. Below is a picture of the leader structure. Maximum leader points, figure first segment and second angle. Landing edges automatically, including landing setting, landing distancing, annotative, scale, miss, multi-leader layout, special modes. You can change any and all of the following. Specify what you want to change with the maximum leader points or not. Then input the desired value. By default, the value is 2, meaning the first point is to the geometry. The second point is the end of the multi-leader. Specify whether you want to change with the first segment angle and the second segment angle or not. If yes, the angle what are the angle values? Specify whether you want AutoCAD to automatically include landing or not. If yes, what was the landing length? Specify whether the multi-leader will be annotative or not, and we'll discuss the annotative in the coming chapters. Content tab below the picture of the content tab. Multi-leader type, mem, text option, default text style, text angle, text color, text height, always to left to justify, frame text, leader connection, horizontal alignment, vertical attachment, or horizontal attachment, vertical attachment, left attachment, right attachment, landing gap, extended leader text. In AutoCAD, there's 2 multi-leader types, M text and block, either predefined or user defined. The following picture display with there are 2 Check this multi-text and block. For either the M-text option, you'll be able to change all and any of the following. If their default text over the text angle, text color, text height is equal to 0. Select whether these always just left, right with the frame or not. Choose whether the leader connection is horizontal, vertical, then edit the position of the text relative to the landing of the both left and right leader lines, and then control the gap distance between the end of the landing of the text. Horizontal attachment, vertical attachment. With the block option, you can change all or any of the following: multi-leader block and source block attachment color scale. Specify the source block. Specify the attachment position color of the attachment. Finally, scale by the attachment. Insert the multi-leader dimension. The group of commands will add a single multi-leader with the add a leader in the existing multi-leader. Remove the leader with the existing multi-leader. Align with the group of the existing multi-leader. You can always restart with the multi-leader command, which will insert a single leader. Just try the command. Go to the annotate locate leaders panel to select the multi-leader button or M leader. You will see the following prompts. Specify the leader, arrowhead, location, leader, landing, first content, first options, specify the leader, landing, location. First specify the leader, arrowhead, location, specify the leader, landing, location, then the type of the text you want to appear beside the letter to add a leader in existing multi-leader. Go to annotate tab, leaders panel, then select add leader button to the add more leaders. You see the following groups, like multi-leader, one found, leader, arrowhead, location, special leader, arrowhead, location. Remove the leader with existing multi-leader. Go to anti-lab, location, leader panel. Remove the leader from button to the remove the leaders. You see the following prompts, select the multi-leader, one found, specify the leaders to remove, specify the leaders to remove the line, group for multi-leaders, and annotate tab leaders panel to select the align button. You'll see the following points, like multi-leaders 1, until found 2 total. Selecting multi-leaders current mode using current spacing. Select multi-leader to align 2 or options, specify the direction. Select the group with similar multi-leaders and singles and leader with the go to annotate tab leaders panel. Select the collect button. This command works only with the leaders containing the blocks. You see the following prompts, see multi-leader, select multi-leader, specify the collected multi-leader location, vertical, horizontal, wrap, or horizontal. Note you change the wrap of the multi-leader text while editing either the two arrows pointing right and left, and then show the practice, notes, chapter review, and now we're on to chapter 17, plot style, annotative, and exporting.